Hard, honest work leads to success. At least that is a widely held belief. I think that this attitude alone only serves to get by. As so often, I like to compare our daily lives to tennis, and here too there were strong similarities. More on that in this video. Yuri Rodionov had another week of practice in Vienna before the tournaments start again. So far, everything has gone well. He is fit, motivated, and full of confidence. Sebastian Sorga was at the 30K Future Tournament in Trento, Italy. In the second round, he lost to the German Masur, who is a very strong opponent, especially indoors. Slava Belinsky was once again in Antalya for a 15K Future Tournament. He got off to a good start in the tournament. I will report on how it finally turned out in the next video. Why is honest hard work respectable and provides a more or less solid foundation, but nothing more? Let's take a look at life as a whole. Most people go to work, strive to earn a living, and live their lives without giving much thought to whether there might be more to achieve. Many people are also content with this situation because breaking new ground always involves a certain amount of risk. And this uncertainty, when you break out of your comfort zone, causes unease. This symbolism can be applied very well to tennis. Many players are hard workers who pursue their passion with dedication and hope to be rewarded for their efforts at some point. Unfortunately, this is very often not the case. Compared to normal life, it is of course much more difficult to reach the top in tennis because there simply aren't as many opportunities available. Sooner or later, however, most players reach a point where they feel stuck. Very few are lucky enough to climb the rankings in a straight line. Once you reach this point where it becomes very difficult to move up in the ranking, it's time to rethink your personal situation. As a result, many negative thoughts, self-doubt, and frustration tend to arise during this stage. In many cases, interpreting these signs correctly can mean a change of direction. As in normal life, this change of direction also involves risks. Breaking with familiar routines and learned patterns causes discomfort, as it is associated with a great deal of uncertainty. And these new paths are associated with all kinds of setbacks and also with some wrong turns. The mental agility and willingness to deal with these things properly requires a certain character. Many people are only willing to try these new things when there is no other alternative. Very often, it is precisely in this situation that frustration and self-doubt are already very strong, so that the many setbacks can make you feel even more confirmed in your beliefs and see yourself as a failure. Which is of course not true, but difficult to recognize for yourself. Everything has developed very well. The technology is much better, everything looks great in the fitness area, and competition performance is also much better. So everything has developed well, but the crucial question now is, have I developed myself just as well? As described in some of my previous videos, it is important to create the conditions necessary to fully exploit one's personal potential, especially when one has almost reached the limits of one's playing potential. In my work with many players, I have come to the point where further opportunities for improvement in the technical and physical areas are very limited. What is still missing for the final big step cannot be achieved through honest work alone. Unfortunately, it is often very difficult to convince these honest workers to change their usual patterns and, most importantly, the willingness to work on yourself. They feel too comfortable in this mindset, and new approaches cause them too much discomfort. That's why I think you can't start preparing players for this early enough. When I watch players, I've learned not to judge them only on their playing ability. I always try to prepare them for situations that are very likely to arise at some point. However, the player's entire environment should be supportive in this regard, which unfortunately is not the case in many instances. The battle against windmills, as described by Don Quixote, is often very exhausting for everyone involved. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.